to gender, philosophy and popular culture, and this is relevant for students on this module here at the University of Worcester. So the one key debate that I want you to be very familiar with is this notion of gender as a social construction versus the essentialist nature of gender. So you should be aware that gender refers to maleness and femaleness as social constructs rather than as physiological characteristics. So you have the notion that gender being socially constructed versus essentialism, and essentialism suggests that men and women are inherently different, that they belong to separate categories, where social construction argues that social interactions shape the world we live in, including our perceptions of gender, and for this module, including popular culture. So you have writings, for example, from Simone de Beauvoir in 1949, suggesting we become men and women. Gender is not something we are, but something we do. And you can trace these ideas back to Greek philosophical debates. What you need to think about is where you place your own self into this debate, because that will inform how you write about gender and how you write about gender identities, particularly in terms of your assignment. And I'm just going to highlight two key ideas by academics that I think are important for this module. So one is this notion of performance that is associated with Goffman and his very readable book, The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life. So in terms of this idea, masculinity and femininity are gender roles which individual men and women perform. We're actors who perform our roles by constantly engaging in practices that are deemed typical, appropriate, what we perceive to be appropriate for men and women. So we perform femininity perhaps by wearing makeup or doing things associated with being feminine. And then, of course, the other key idea that I want you to be aware of is this notion of performativity. And one definition of performativity is that it's expression that constitutes a performance. So speech, acts, gestures, rituals, if you like, that then become associated with maleness or femaleness. So the notion of scripts of masculinity and femininity that we continually reenact might be taught to us through the media or through popular culture, for example. So these are two key ideas. And that's all I'm going to say, because really this is a starting point for you to go and find out more.